Hey guys, it's Steve with Orlando Collector Stevens here today with Amanda. I'm secretly a vampire Rachel's, and of course the voice behind the camera, Trish. I'm listening. Really, I am. But what did you say, Halsey?
So true.
As you saw before the show, when you said something, she's like, "Huh? What? Yeah, I heard you, but what?"
Who am I? Why am I here?
Now, the reason I say you're secretly a vampire is because I hunted those pictures out. I went back a little over 10 years and you haven't changed.
Oh my God. You were digging deep on some of those. I was like, whoa, that's my mom's house.
Hey, and that's why when you said you sent me a couple pictures, it's like, yeah, if she only knew the how I stalk everybody before the show so I can get some good pics.
Oh, well, some of those bring back good
Steve,
memories.
Super Stalker Halsey.
Uh,
I might secretly be a vampire.
you might. I mean, I saw a couple of those pictures and it's like I was looking, it's like, do I see fangs right there?
Ah, it's
So
funny. But
Um, I was gonna say, yeah. Let's see. Look right there. Okay, and you only come out at night because most of those pictures were still at night.
yeah, I don't like the sun too much. I'm pretty pale.
Let's see. Ooh.
Something you guys have in common.
Oh, see, we got Mr. Alfred Pennyworth. Yes, exactly. Stalker Halsey. Now, see, this is Brett. He just had a successful Kickstarter with Javier Lugo, the Green Tempest, and he I tried to stalk him very hard, and I could like find only one or two pictures of him. He
Yeah.
has like no pictures out there.
Hmm. You got to try extra hard.
Oh, I did. I went to everything. I went to friends of friends to family. To only one I didn't get was his mama because
Oh,
that's a little weird.
a little bit. My mom will
And it,
probably give you pictures.
now Boris is saying good evening, OCD. Good evening, Boris.
Hi, Boris.
Okay, Amanda, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself because I have a couple questions for you anyway. So,
All right. Well, I am a comic book artist with Inverse Press. It's my company. I started it with my partner, Kevin Laporte, almost 11 years ago. We do mostly horror comics and wrestling biographies. You know, a good mix there. But I love horror. That's it. It kind of fuels everything I do. Even the stuff that I start that's not horror becomes horror. So what's wrong with me? um, I started last year. I started podcasting because just as a hobby type thing, and that's kind of become a little fun side thing for me that lets me create without spending all day drawing a page. um, but I like telling scary stories and narrating into the microphone. I'm a very behind the camera type of person, but I like to um, get a little dramatic.
okay, so now I got to ask, what is your pod? I see. I did not know about the podcast. So,
Ooh,
what is
you
your
didn't know
pod?
about the podcast? Oh my goodness! Well,
No.
it's called "Ain't No Such Thing," and it is where we tell original Southern horror stories. Kevin writes a lot of them. Erica Heflin, who's written Flesh of White that I drew, she writes a lot, and we uh, we do it here from the house, and everybody gets in on it. We discuss legends and cryptids and kind of poke fun at them a little bit, and then we have some more serious
Ooh.
episodes with the stories.
I don't know if you heard Trish. You said cryptids, and she just like went all gushy over there. That's one of her favorite things. And we're always trying to find a good podcast, and we never really do.
Oh man,
we
well I
we
hope
we
this one would be good. I've gotten to where I listen to a lot of them, and I mostly listen to true crime and um, kind of very irreverent comedy type stuff. But a lot of times the the voices get on my nerves. And so yeah, and I'm just like, I can't listen to this today. And so I try to really be cognizant of that when I'm recording. It's like, what's going to annoy people? And I try not to do that. Um, so the learning process for not only performing but producing it has been interesting. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to wear a lot of hats
Oh,
normally, and then I try to put more hats on. My head's
that,
too.
that's what we did.
What's the podcast again?
Oh, Trish wants to know what's the podcast again
It's called "Ain't No Such Thing."
because she's gonna try to tag it and put it over here for everybody.
Nice.
Now, is it? Can you find it on like iHeart,
Yes.
Apple?
It's on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Stitcher, um, Buzzsprout, a couple other ones there. But
Okay, you
mostly
you
the
lost
the
you
big
you
ones.
lost me halfway there.
I will post the Facebook.
Yeah,
You can find it all
I
from
do.
there.
I do have a Facebook group for it. It's facebook.com/groups/ ain't no such thing, and it's fun.
Yep.
We gotta put a little bit more in there this week just because I've been busy with comics.
Now Trish just tagged it your Facebook group right there. Ain't
Whoa.
no such thing. And see, we're gonna be driving around all day Saturday, hitting all the comic book stores on the East Coast. So we might be sitting there listening to it.
Ooh. Well, yeah, there's some fun ones. And a lot of the stories are pretty short, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. But a lot are inspired by Southern cryptids, Southern haunts, and some personal experiences that we've had. Um, and the whole thing kind of came about because I used to really love scary stories to tell in the dark and Tales from the Midnight Hour. Those were my books growing up. And I like stories like that where it was uh, not so huge, not so epic, but just like a campfire tale. And I like telling those. So I wanted to share that experience because that weird little nostalgia boost that I get from it. I wonder if other people get it too. So it's been fun.
I can't wait to hear
Mhm.
how many episodes have you got? Is it like a weekly thing? Is it?
It's thereabout mostly a couple times a month. Um, and we'll be more consistent about it. Sometimes when we're doing cons and stuff, I might not have an episode every week. Sometimes it might be 40 something, maybe more. We were kind of getting up there with it.
Well, yeah, with all the cons, and I think everybody who knows you would understand because it's kind of like us. We kind of get behind on certain things because the cons come in, and that kind of takes you know priority on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, and also children. So,
Like,
Well, yeah, just say life. Our children are in their 20s, and they're still a big part.
oh,
Now, Mike Thompson says checking in from Orlando again because they're doing Fanboy Expo
Fanboy Expo,
in,
yeah,
in Orlando this weekend.
nice.
Um, Mike Thompson is an artist with Thompson Creative
custom
Custom Creative Art.
custom creations, custom art creation.
Mike, you're gonna hate me because I can never remember.
I'm gonna have to go back and look for everybody that's an artist in here. I love sharing art and seeing what everybody's up to. I'm nosy.
And and then Boris says, "Why is Steve cosplaying as Magnum PI tonight?" Because it's you know, it's it's Florida. And then Boris has a Southern horror story. The diner only served unsweet tea.
That's nightmare fuel.
And see, Trish will beg to differ because Trish that's all Trish drinks is unsweet tea.
I'd be
Woohoo!
okay with that.
I got to have it sweet. I can't even have Orlando sweet because they don't do it right. um,
Well, we're from the Midwest, so
but yeah, it's like the farther south that you get, their catering people feel like they're from the South, so they don't boil the sugar in it. They give you sugar packets to put in unsweet tea. It's like get away from that. That's terrible. Um, my
Well,
favorite short Southern horror story, Boris, is someone washed Grandma's cast iron skillet. But that would be like washing mine. Nobody messes with my skillets.
well, Mike says it's Thompson Custom Art Creations. See, we always have the right words, we just never have them in the right order.
Never.
And then Mike wants to know what's to drink tonight. So tonight on my side is Cruzian Blueberry Lemonade Rum
Ooh.
mixed with Florida's Natural Zero Sugar Lemonade. And the rum is courtesy of Total Wine and More. Shameless plug. Trying to get them as a sponsor. One day I will get them as a sponsor. But it actually
I would try
mixes
that.
really well.
That sounds like my speed, even though I'm a lightweight.
So you got to share what you're drinking.
You can laugh at me.
Oh, but see, I'm only laughing because it's diet. Because I don't like the taste of the diet. I go with the zero sugar one.
See, I hate Dr. Pepper. I don't really like it at all. I like diet Dr. Pepper. I don't care that it's diet. It's like I'll be chonky. I don't mind. But this tastes good to me.
Now like I said, we have fell in love with the zero sugar sodas, not the diets, the zero sugar. Because there
Those
is a
are
different.
good. Cherry,
I love
vanilla, Coke.
Mountain Dew, but I can't stand Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh no. And
And I
see,
can't
okay,
drink sugar, so the zero is perfect.
that is good. Sometimes, okay, I have this weird hatred for Mountain Dew. and um but Kevin, we keep like a bottle or two in the house because he uses it to cure a headache. Like if he gets a migraine, he drinks a
Uh,
Mountain Dew and it goes away.
that's old school curing
Mhm.
a headache. Now you got to drink a
Well, Red
what
Bull
a Red Bull or some of those
energy drinks.
energy drinks. Those
I'm absolutely not affected by caffeine.
well, those energy drinks put the caffeine in Mountain Dew to shame.
Woo. I tried one of those Red Bull slushes from Sonic by accident because they gave me the wrong thing. I was like, that's not that's not bad.
Uh, let's see. Hold on one second. Alfred says I like Trish, but to say no sweet tea is fighting words.
Ooh, we'll have a conversation there, Alfred.
I'm
I'm
gonna
from the
get backed up out
Midwest.
the way.
Let me turn down my volume real quick. And Boris says that's how you repel a southern vampire. You hold up pristine skillet and a tea with Splenda in it.
Uh, yeah, that's how you get rid of me. I think. Like you took all the seasoning off my skillet.
And then you
Nasty
got
ass Linda.
Boris says this week Boris got the green fabuloso hint of apple. So Boris must be at my house. Must have snuck into my house because Boris, half my green fabuloso is missing. So Boris was here. Okay, sorry about that. Now we're
No,
all
you
caught
good.
up. Now I had a question because, and I'm gonna go back because I know you're Inverse Press,
Yes.
but I've been noticing your name on a lot of it's what Flatline Comics.
Yeah. So Flatline basically is Inverse Press. Um we just wanted to give it a more, I guess, edgy comic specific name because Inverse Press, it doesn't have comics in the title, and that doesn't always click with people. And the other thing was that I know we've been Inverse for a long time, but like a major media company is also Inverse, and they're a lot younger than we are, but um, we didn't want there to be any confusion going forward in that, um, you know. So just in case, and but yeah, we wanted something that just felt like it fit more with what we do, and not to be an edge lord or anything, but Flatline kind of has that vibe that we want. So as we reprint things and our new series are coming out, we're branding them with Flatline Comics. But we're still Inverse Press, but um, because we have the squared circle branding too, it's all kind of our little umbrella.
Oh yeah, because they kind of do all the wrestling stuff
Hmm.
with our friend John Crowther.
Yeah. Have you seen the new covers that we've been posting with uh, goodness, let me get the words right here. It's the illustrated history of pro wrestling, and
Yes.
we've got these cool monochromatic covers, and they're by John Bicknish, Jonathan Grimm, and they're really good. I'm loving them. That last one he did that had Rocky Johnson and Jake Hager and Hollywood on it looked really killer.
Oh yeah. I like them. It's one of those. I'm not huge on wrestling, and I was backing them there at the beginning. I kind of just slid off of them
Yeah,
just because I'm not a huge
it's it's real niche.
wrestling.
Yeah, it's not for everybody for sure, but they're fun. They're um, some of those guys have such good stories. We love telling them.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, Rocky, great guy. We loved Rocky.
Oh man,
Um,
he was a
we
character. We liked him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was just a giant kid from when
Mhm.
we've met, and we got to meet him quite a few times.
Yeah,
And I got to meet Nikolai one time. He was really great to meet.
he was
And
lovely. I Nikolai is just about my favorite of all the ones that we worked with. He was a sweetheart, and for being such a famous heel, um, yeah, we loved him.
oh yeah, and I love, and don't get me wrong, I love reading the history behind everybody
Yeah.
and everything, because like Nikolai's whole history, I never knew all that until I read the books.
Man, yeah, kind of a surprise. There was a lot going on there.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
it like I said, it was great. I've just I don't know. I think kind of after Rocky, I kind of just kind of petered out on him. It's like
Oh yeah,
because
that's understandable. It's okay.
I'd be honest, I would get them to support because I'm always about supporting, but I would never end up reading them, and they'd sit over on the
They
side
stack
and
up. Yeah.
yeah,
I've kind of gone
and
to digital on a lot of stuff that I just want to support because I know my reading list is embarrassingly large. Between that and my watch list for all the streaming stuff right now, it's like it's hard for me to keep up.
so what's top on your streaming list?
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm a Marvel nut, so and they kind of can do no wrong by me. Um, everybody knows how I feel about Loki, so that was my show. It's like I just feel like I'm a variant and finally getting acknowledged. But now that What If has been beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't watch yesterday's episode yet,
Oh my
so
goodness.
so no spoilers.
No spoilers, but watch it. Ugh.
Well, because that was if I remember right, that's one of Bozeman's last things he did.
Hmm. I'm glad I watched that one by myself because I was a wreck. So, um, but from what I understand, he did more than one episode, like five. So
Well, that's good.
we shall see. No spoilers
Now I'm going to ask, and we are going to spoil it because it's been over for a couple weeks, and if you haven't seen Loki, screw you. Um,
though.
There's spoilers everywhere.
Yeah, there's spoilers everywhere. I mean, go to any con, you'll see every Loki.
You saw my kid, right?
Oh, you should have saw MegaCon. Loki is the new Deadpool
Oh.
and the new Harley because there was Lokis everywhere. A lot of them all carrying Gator Lokis.
Yes. Never seen so many gators in Florida as we
And
did at the
it's Florida
convention.
Gator, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so let me ask you honestly, what did you think of the Loki series?
I love it. Um, I'll defend it.
See, to me, it wasn't the Loki that we knew and loved from the movies.
Hmm.
They changed him
Yeah.
because this is in the movies we got a Loki that fought the Avengers,
Yeah.
fought Hulk, got his butt kicked, but I mean, but couldn't fight off a bunch of people in a train.
He was
I mean,
drunk.
yes, but he's Asgardian and they're better drunk.
He's a frost giant.
But he was born and raised Asgardian.
He's a runt. Frail constitution.
And I get that they weren't focusing so much on him as much as Sylvie, but I think to me, I was just disappointed that they um, watered him down.
He could be on a episode of The Office, and you wouldn't know it was Loki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it was there's kind of a writing style there, and I don't have a problem with it because it felt like more of a character study than an action driven show to me. Um, the only part that I was a little about was the last episode. And that's a lot to drop in an episode, and I liked the variant of Kang, but but I'll be glad to see another version of him. I want him to do what he does and be serious. Um, so I don't know. I think um, it's just a different take.
and I understand. I want because I know how much you love it, and my daughter loves Loki. I mean,
Mhm.
she got her senior pictures dressed as Lady Loki, and this was years ago. I mean, she's actually really upset because she's like, I loved Loki before all these wannabes. She feels that if she is to go back out in her Loki stuff, that she would be considered just part of
Oh,
the.
it's like, yeah, baby, I've been here a minute.
Yep. It's like
um,
we got the senior pictures to show it.
yep. It's like I have Journey into Mystery 85 sitting by my desk downstairs. It's um a little obsessive, but
But
have
see,
been for a while.
and see, I can respect that because, like I said, our daughter's the same way, and Loki's the flavor of the month because last time it was Wanda,
Hmm.
and
And I love
next
that too, though. That was out there, but man, I thought they did a really interesting take on that. So,
they did. I like how they updated the House of M because that's the story arc.
hmm.
So, and that's
And
why I watched it just so I could see how they were gonna do that story arc.
yeah, and and absolutely no spoilers about the new What If, but there are little moments in it that where people talk to each other, and I love that because it gives you some insight into the characters and just what they're about, what they're thinking before they rush in to fight something. And they did that with the other episode, but there were bits of Loki where I thought they did a really good job with that, just to kind of show motivations. I got to give credit on that show to the score. The composer did such a job, a great job with tying the music to the whole feel of the show. I thought it was really neat. And same with WandaVision, though. I loved it. I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier too, though. I'm real easy to please because I feel like I've loved this stuff since I was 5 years old, and I've been around, and I never thought I'd get to see this kind of stuff on a big screen, much less a small screen. Um, and so it's important to me. It's a good time to be a nerd.
It's a great time to be a nerd.
Hmm.
Speaking of nerds, Christian Basil says, I smell comics. And of course, everybody knows he's the legend of the traveling TARDIS. And Alfred says, oh, Christian has arrived. And then Christian shared it. And I wanted to get back down to Boris's thing because Boris has kind of a good point here. If Owen Wilson is not on a jet ski by the end of the next season, we need to riot.
I agree with that.
I think Owen Wilson did great. I loved his character. For a character that had like only one appearance in the whole Marvel universe comic wise, I mean, I think they did a great character of
They really
they did a
did.
great job with him.
Hmm. And yeah, he was so endearing, and yeah, you can't help but love him. And I love that. Um, Loki's telling him, "You might have a family out there." He's like, "I might have had a jet ski." Okay, got your priorities. um, but it was good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it wasn't good. There was just things that I just really didn't like. I'm going to be honest. I mean, like when they were trying to run to catch the ship when they were on the planet that was going to, die because of the meteors.
Hmm.
It's like Loki could go boom and be on the ship. There's no running through everybody and this and that. I know they got to make it dramatic and everything,
Hmm.
but Loki forgot how to do magic for most
They
of
kind
that.
of forget his powers because in that scene where the building's falling and he puts the building back the way it was, it's like, what power is that? Because I don't know. Unless he had the time stone, which I guess he didn't.
Well, because all the stones and the Tesseract were nothing but paperweights.
But that was only in the TVA.
Oh, I know, but that's when he learned that they didn't having them didn't even matter.
Hmm. But had I been holding one, I'd have stuck that shit in my pocket. It's like, I can use this later. So,
Okay, so what else is on your streaming list besides the Disney Plus?
oh my goodness. So what have I been watching?
Well, I
I've been
can't I
watching.
can't say that because there might be other stuff on Disney Plus. Because we
Hmm.
actually started watching the new Turner and Hooch on Disney Plus.
um, you know what the very first thing I watched when I got Disney Plus was?
What was that?
Old Yeller.
Uh,
Oh, I
I
can't watch
wanted to
that.
watch that movie again. I love that
you
movie.
just wanted to cry.
Maybe a little bit, but
I
that's
can't.
a good movie. I love it. Um, so what else am I watching? Um, I finished up American Horror Stories last night. The anthology season of that show. It was pretty good. Um, it's kind of last few years with American Horror Story. I feel like it's kind of just gotten to shock value for shock value's sake, and it hasn't been so great. And I think I've skipped the last year or so on it. But I jumped in on it uh, when they said that it was going to be an anthology type series. So that's my kind of horror. I love that sort.
Now, see, you and Boris have a lot in common because Boris actually loves horror comics.
Ah,
He actually reviews horror comics. He's actually um, getting ready to do a couple reviews for Second Sight Publishing
mm-hmm.
on some of their horror comics that they've got. So
Nice.
Boris, you got to check out Amanda's work,
Mm-hmm.
and that way you can do some reviews of hers.
Heck yeah. We're all about killer clowns here right now. That's what I live with day to day while I'm getting this book done. Um, but yeah, I am very much about horror, and horror comics were an early influence for me. I'm such an EC girl.
And then we have another one. says, "Oh, a Magnum PI cosplayer." At least I know next at the next convention, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna get. I believe he had a Chicago Cubs hat. I'll find one and we'll go that way
There you go.
instead of a Captain America hat. Think I can get a Ferrari? Will you let me rent one for the weekend?
I'll think about it.
Okay. If I let her have a hotel by the beach, she'll let me have a Ferrari.
There you go. That's a nice trade off.
Well, you got to drive me to the hotel by the beach in the Ferrari,
Yeah, there we go. That way it actually looks good.
and then you look exactly like Magnum PI.
Exactly. I got the mustache. Yeah. I look like Tom Selleck.
Keep telling yourself that.
I wish I could look at it like him, even at his age now. Jeez. Oh, it's a Detroit Lions hat.
Oh, was it not
Yeah.
a good fit?
Yeah, it's a
I got a
Trish.
Mandela effect going on for me.
See,
There you are, right there.
yeah, you got to send me that picture or just put it up, pop it up,
I don't know if I can.
and we'll send it to me then. And Daryl says, "Please don't. Oh God, make it stop."
He's gonna
You
wear the
bought,
little shorty shorts too.
No, 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 no. I have to put a stop right there. No, no, no.
well,
No,
come
no,
on.
no.
I would win the cosplay contest.
No, please, God, no. I
You got
can't
this.
see you walking
Oh,
around
see
in
now,
shorts.
now look at and see he's a Navy man like I am. So, and Daryl says, Chip says hi, Chip, how you doing?
Chip.
I hope he's enjoying school. He's in middle school now.
Oh,
Ooh, big man.
Yep, he's big man on campus. No, actually, he just started, so he's little man on campus again.
middle school. That's awesome.
Okay, so let's see. And oh, if I wear the shorty shorts, I'll get an indecent exposure. But I see how it is. Let's see. I got a. Trish just sent me a picture. Give me a second. I'll have it up. And she says, "This is me right now." Gotta find where to put them.
Just gotta ungray the mustache.
Hey, I've done that for my Punisher before. So, what is your favorite character besides Loki?
Besides Loki. Oh
See, and
my.
there, you same shirt almost,
That is for real the shirt.
and I
I
didn't
mean,
even know that.
see, it's hard to pick because occasionally I flip flop. I've always been a fan of the Joker, but I like the classic Joker. Give me that Jim Aparo Joker. Um, and I'm a big Lex. I like Disney villains a lot. Um, but yeah, the villains have always been my thing. I'm a
I
big fan of
wonder
Hannibal
why.
Lecter.
Right.
Vampire, yeah, okay. Now Boris says he's going to cosplay as the rubber guy from American Horror Story. He'll win by default, as the rest of the contestants will flee seeing him in costume.
Oh man, that rubber
And,
suit. Goodness gracious.
and he is almost 6 foot. He ain't that little. Wait to see you.
Till you see him again.
Who is that? Oh, Chip. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Thought they were talking about me in shorty shorts. Jack Bradway, unsettling statement. Daryl Guntner is watching with you, and I am currently in the bathroom. So Daryl's in the bathroom watching with Jack.
Yep.
We're all watching. Daryl put a webcam in the potty with you. I now do not trust his stuffed animals. Well, they are, the nanny cams.
Exactly.
And I don't watch from the bathroom, from the bed. See, this is the crowd I get. I get the crowd, and I would not change my crowd for anything. I love all these guys, and they're on here, so they must love you too.
Oh, well, I'm very thankful to have a crowd to hang out with tonight.
Now, you said you love clowns. What about the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I love that movie. It has no influence on my killer clowns, but I love that movie. It is creepy as hell. Um, the Chiodo brothers special effects are just so cool. They have such a look that, like, that move, the part in where he makes the T Rex, the shadow
Oh
dinosaur.
yeah,
That's my favorite part in the whole movie. I love that. But the idea of turning them into cotton candy and eating them, that's creepy. Um,
big old straw and just start sucking them.
yeah. It just occurred to me like a few weeks ago, Erica and I, we showed our little girls who are both 7, we showed them Ernest Scared Stupid, and they did they did the creatures in that movie because they look like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, all the trolls in that movie. It's like, those are freaking creepy.
Well, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is mine and my daughter's favorite movie.
Oh,
If it's ever on, it doesn't matter what else is on. We sit there and we watch it. Trish hates it. She'll go do something else.
and I did Spooky Empire early on with what we were doing, and they were doing a Killer Clowns from Outer Space reunion at that show, and I had the coolest little print. I need to get it made again, where I'd drawn them. And no, I do love that movie. It's got its charm, but it is creepy.
And Daryl says we are definitely here for her and Trish. Yeah, Daryl, we already know, but you were looking at me and thinking Magnum PI, so I know you got a thing going on. So, what are you currently working on right now?
I'm working on Vicious Circus issue 6. Um, I'm just about to start, probably after I get off um, the feed with you. I'm gonna start laying out this page, and it's gonna be like the most gruesome, horrible thing I've ever drawn. So I'm kind of excited.
See, and we're happy to help give you ideas.
I've been sitting on this one for a little while, looking at the script, and like, okay, all right, I'm up to this challenge. um, you know, Kevin always likes to push my skill set, I guess, or to make me draw things that frighten me. Uh, so that's my version of therapy.
So, has there ever come across anything from a script or anything that, or even a commission, will say that you just absolutely said, "Nah, that's just going too far."
Um, yeah. And and I can tell you what it is because it's fun. It's gross. Um, the I could do a nice job with it, but the request was gross, and that's to draw me in skimpy outfits. It's like, I can make it look good, but you ain't gonna get it.
Just look at him and say, "Go Photoshop my head on something," and there you go.
Yeah, I guess that's probably been done. But, um, no. So, um, um, it's funny. How do I put this? It's like, I don't mind drawing taboo things. I don't mind drawing risque or you know, um, anything like that. That cost extra, but you know, and some people are weird about it though. You know,
Yeah, we know. We've
yeah.
met some of them.
It's like I can be totally professional with anybody about just about anything, but when you start to be like, can they be naked? That kind of thing. And that is a conversation that somebody had with me one time, and I'm just like, not today. So funny. I'm like, go
Now,
away.
now has any of those requests come through like naked cannibal campers? Is it?
They were
I
naked.
exactly.
Yeah, and that was okay. It's like as long as I don't try to connect it to me, that's not creepy to me. But it's really creepy when they start saying like, "Can you draw yourself?" Um, and
No, no,
yeah,
no.
uh, yeah, no, no.
That's when you look at him and says, I don't have to draw me because I'm here.
Yeah, that's when I make Kevin stand up and be like, "Go away."
That's where you're like, go back to your mom's basement, and we're
Man,
good.
I was going through Facebook Facebook photos, and I did find that I have posted a picture of the creepiest commission that I've ever done, and it's in there. Um, I don't know if it'll look like it's the creepiest thing I've ever done, but it's someone asked me to draw these three girls, like just their faces, and they were Hooters girls, and he had books of pictures of Hooters girls, and
What the?
some he was sitting with them, and I'm sorry if this dude ever hears me talking about him, but he was creepy. and and so he had me draw these three girls,
Dude.
and I'm sketching them, and he's like, "Can you make them look a little bit more like uncomfortable, like they are in the pictures?" And I'm like,
Oh,
it's like these girls are in your basement, aren't they?
or your car trunk.
Uh huh.
That's like
So,
serial killer crap,
oh god,
It,
it was a
it puts
vibe.
the lotion on the skin,
right?
So it
gets
gets
the
my
hose
hose
again.
again.
See, there you go.
That's
But yeah,
ten
I
years
don't know
from
what his deal
now.
was. I don't know if he has a huge original art collection of Hooters girls doing this, but that's what they look
That's a
like.
10 years from now. They go, oh my gosh, I
Hmm.
remember him.
We're watching we're watching what is it?
Serial killers.
Serial killers on A&E or Oxygen.
And it's like, do you remember
Hey,
that conversation that we had with Amanda?
Oh no, it's that Hooters guy. It's the
Joe
owl-eyed killer.
Joe Schmo and the Hooters hotties.
Right? Ooh,
Well, Daryl says if you want weirdos, you're in the right place. Hey, I, of course. Now Boris actually has a real question for you.
Mhm.
Has the movie Freaks from 1932 been an inspiration for any creepy circus stories or characters?
It's funny because I was setting up my Patreon page and I was naming um, the tiers, and it goes from the sideshow to the freak show to one of us. It's a Google Gobble, one of us, and yes, it absolutely has. I love that film. It's it's some nightmare fuel for sure. Uh, I'm definitely on the side of the freaks though, and I don't know. It has such a powerful stick with you vibe, um, and it's I know I've got it on DVD somewhere here. I think I bought it at a flea market or something. It's like I'm not leaving this here. Uh, but yeah, that movie it hasn't really inspired any characters, but of that movie is in a good little bit of what I do.
Has anything else inspired you?
Stephen King. I'm a big Stephen King fan, and I have been since I was a child. My favorite little story about it is that uh, my uncle Chuck, who I love very dearly, he's a priest. He became a priest, but he would always show me the best horror movies as a kid. We would hang out and watch stuff. But he was reading it, and he left it at my house. And my mom was like, "You can't read that. You're not allowed." It's like, hmm. So I went and found it and read it. Like I got in trouble, but and so I read it and I did a book report on it at school. But I was 9 years old, so I got an A. But I also had a parent teacher conference. Like, what's wrong with your kid? um, but you know, I don't think that was too bad for a little kid to read a book that big. What was it like? 1,300 pages, 1,400 pages.
Oh yeah, the original It was huge.
Hmm. And I love it. That book affected me. It's like certain things they kind of shape who you are as a person, and the kids in that book, they are just like the archetypal good characters for me. And it's like I could see myself in a lot of that. It's like I was a loser. So, you know? But yeah, they're all very, very dear to my heart. It's like as much as I love the monsters, I care more about the kids in that book. Something about that taps into that childhood brain, and having read it as a child is kind of interesting. I read that book once a year at least, so I've read it quite a few times. Um,
Well, that answers my next question. I was going to ask if you still read. 'Cause I know that sounds like a weird question, but there's people reading books have actually gone down a lot.
they have, and my problem is, I used to read all the time. It's like that's everything. I was reading and drawing, reading and drawing. Now the physical act of reading for me, it puts me to sleep. I can't stay up, and so I get really frustrated, and so I do a lot of audible. So I love audiobooks, and I'll have them going while I'm sitting here working. And I bought Stephen King's newest one. I just haven't started it yet. But but yeah, I love books and I love stories, and that kind of stuff just fuels my creativity and uh, just the energy. It helps to keep me sharp. I think to get inspired by or to get
Well,
scared by stuff.
we're still book readers in this house,
Yep.
Mhm.
and I love books because you can play the movie in your head. You know,
Yeah.
and you know it's a good book when you can visualize the whole thing in your head.
Hmm. And it definitely, absolutely, Stephen King's like my favorite writer, but I love Thomas Harris. The Silence of the Lambs was a big deal to me. Red Dragon and Hannibal and all that. But that, oh my goodness. So, um, William Peter Blatty with The Exorcist. That's another one that's I love that movie, but that book is something special. Um, how they could really transport you. Um, Stephen
Well,
King says that books are shared telepathy, and I tend to agree with that.
now see, I author that I loved ever since I was little was Robert McCammon.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorites. It was kind of the same thing. The book, my dad had bought the book Swan Song, like
Hmm.
on clearance or something,
Yeah.
and just had it sitting there. Again, it's one of them huge. It
Hmm.
had like 1,000 some odd pages, and around 9, 10 years old, I read the whole thing and fell in love with the book and how he could describe everything. And I read from then on. I read everything he ever did, and anytime he retired and came back out of retirement, so whenever he puts out something new, I grab it.
Awesome. He's one I need a little bit more of. Um, and him, who is the other one? He wrote a lot of stuff based out of like Perdido, Alabama. I don't know if he was from there. It'll come to me. But my dad is a voracious reader and always has been. It's funny. He keeps a journal and he reads probably 250 books a year. Like, um, and uh, and he keeps a page count for the year. It's so funny, and he'll update me when I chat with him. It's like we read and we golf. That's me and my dad. Um, but That's a lot of fun. I appreciate that he made me uh, that he instilled a real love of reading in me that persists. and and that's so good. I'm trying to get my own little one to light read. She doesn't like to read, but she's little, so she'll get there. Maybe. I hope.
Well, our daughter used to love to read all the time, which was great. We loved it. Our son hated it. Our daughter lost interest with reading once YouTube became a thing, and all the YouTubers.
Mm,
I'm like, YouTube killed my kids. I mean, that's
yep. I can fix anything I need to fix because of YouTube, but woo, sometimes it gets on my nerves.
well. I sit here. I had at one point every video game system known to man under my roof,
Yeah.
and my kids were watching somebody else sit there and play video games on YouTube. I'm like, you have the same game right there. Go play it
Oh no.
yourself.
Now I admit I do watch playthroughs sometimes on YouTube of things like Resident Evil that I know I'm not gonna play because I'm sitting here working, and so it keeps my productivity up to actually just watch the game be played and know what happened. But the video games I like to play, I like Animal Crossing.
I have it too.
I love it. I've got a little Tom Nook hanging up here on my wall. But now I like that game because it's really relaxing to me. I like the music in it, and I just like to go take care of things around my island, and it's not hot. you know, I feel like I've done something. I get like 20 minutes of that in a day, and I'm pretty relaxed. But
See, somebody else who does video games to relax, because that's
uh,
my stress reliever.
yeah, it's like I like word games like Boggle on my tablet, and um, what else was I playing? Chess. I'm not really good at chess, but I like playing it. The other one, this is so stupid, but I love playing this game. It's one of those where it's like a story game, but you're just making choices. It's kind of like choose your own adventure, but usually they're just pretty trashy soap opera type things, or they're horror. It's I think it's called Choices or something like that. But you get to name the names. Uh, and so I just sit there and giggle at my story because their names are so dumb.
Well, see, I'm one of those. Like, I play a lot of the role playing games. Always
Mhm.
have, um, where you can name your characters. Of course, I name it after me and my family, but I also use the names from characters in books that I've read.
Yeah.
So it's like my kids would be like, what's that name? It's like, well, it was from this book. If you read the book Stinger, you'll know where I got the name from.
hmm I get
So
questions
they
like, Amanda, why are you naming your character Reverend Mother Gaia, Gaia Smile? I was like, dude. Um,
uh, Boris says another good inspiration for a horror circus. Watch the old 70s reruns of Circus of the Stars. That's an hour of people doing a ton of things against their wills, smiling like they're dead inside.
you're not wrong. I remember watching that as a child. Um, and whew, that was
And
kind of stressful.
I was actually thinking about that about a month ago. It's like, man, they need to bring that stuff back because that was always fun to watch. You see your stars like trying to row a boat and fall over into the lake and stuff like that.
That was great. Um, it's funny. Kevin is over in Tampa right now, but he sent me a text earlier. They went to the Ringling Brothers Museum, and he sent me all these creepy circus pictures. And so that'll be some inspiration there. But I've I've been to a circus in the last couple of years, but before that, I guess I hadn't been to one since I was probably like 8 years old.
Do they
And
have real circuses still, or just Circus Olay?
I've done circuses too, but closed down. I took my little one to and it was interesting. It definitely, I understand why people are creeped out by clowns.
So you just go to those places just to get new ideas.
Well, you can find inspiration in just about anything.
Now,
uh,
I'm gonna ask now, do you write any of your own stories or do you just draw?
a little bit. Look, I'll write some occasionally. Um, and I've got a few. I've got a little whiteboard here with a list of random ideas that I've got. I don't feel like I'm a writer for sure, um, but sometimes I like to write, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, because
So
sometimes you gotta tell your story.
yeah, my favorite, and I really just did the last episode of Ain't No Such Thing. Uh, was a story called The Men of Pinewood Lane, and Erica Heflin wrote it, and she based it off of a conversation that we've been having for a few years. We had a lake house out in the middle of nowhere, Florida, and one weekend I was out there by myself, and I had to go to the hardware store and get something. And so I got in my car. It's broad daylight, like 2 in the afternoon, and I'm driving through the woods, and there's a guy walking along the side of the road in a full beekeeper's outfit. It's like it's 100 degrees out here. I don't see an apiary. And I don't know what's going on. This is creepy as hell. And so um, it kind of inspired an idea that I've been kicking around for a long time. And she did a little story based uh, on a variation of it. So, but yeah, that it's funny that just seeing this guy walking along the side of the road in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the day and being so out of place, it has stuck with me and really spooked me into being creative. um, that we've had a few instances like that. I don't know if you've seen the series that we did called Roadkill du Jour.
I
Um,
believe so.
yeah, but that was inspired by just seeing horrible roadkill and going, "What the hell was that?" So that spawned a 4 issue series.
Now, how long have you been doing this? Like Inverse Press and creating the comics.
So Inverse
We'll
Press
we'll
has
we'll
been
we'll,
around.
we'll, we'll go to how long you've been drawing here in a minute. Let's go
Yeah,
with Inverse Press first.
Inverse Press has been around for 11 years in February. I believe that's right. 11 years in January, February.
So that's a
So,
long time because I've only
yeah,
known you for like 6 years.
man. um, and goodness. So as far as me, I've been drawing my whole life. It's like I know I've seen that thread going around Facebook right now. It's like, what job did you want to have when you were a kid? I wanted this one, and so um, that's a kind of fun thing to think about. That I've always wanted to be a comic artist. For a little while, I wanted to be an archaeologist or an animator, but I was four. So, um, but yeah, comic art has always just been a passion. And I published my first comic when I was 17.
Ooh, what was that one?
It was crap. No, um, no, um, it was a fantasy story, and yeah, no, I put a lot of work into it, and I was proud of it. But it was still I was very young, so I had very lovely people who said this is great and bought it from me. So, uh, so I had fun with that. Um, I still have the pages too. It's kind of funny.
No, that's cool because I get a lot of people on here to say they wish they still had their first book. So you actually still having the pages. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's definitely not representative of what I do now, and I'm like, I don't really want to remember this. So people have said, I've got your very first book. I'm like, okay, I'll buy it from you. Like, I'll buy it back. I'm going to have a bonfire. Uh,
Yeah, but
carry that in.
everybody had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I know it's still, it was really fun to do something for myself. Um,
Because if you look at it, if you didn't do that, you might not have gone to the next step.
mhm.
See, everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah.
So when did you get bit by the vampire?
Mm,
Because
well,
you because you said that you did that just a long time ago, but I mean, we've already talked that you don't age. So
it's it's the weird Creole gene in me. It's like none of the women on my side of the family seem to age. I don't know why
oh, see, don't tell Trish. She's gonna want to know what kind of voodoo.
that. It's a little Creole voodoo. Maybe it's the root that we use or the sweet tea.
Oh yeah, see, she doesn't do sweet tea. So now speaking of horror stuff, have you done anything based out of like New Orleans and Louisiana and all that?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, one of our actually the very first comic effort that Kevin and I did. Um, it was a story. It's not set in New Orleans, but it was based off of a city that was like a post Katrina New Orleans that was not repaired and they didn't pump the water out. Um, so monsters came in with the storm. So that I'm 2 hours from New Orleans proper, and so we'll go over there and go to dinner sometime. They got good food, um, but you can't help but have some of that energy rub off on you when you're in town. Um, but there
Oh
are
yeah,
places in
we
New
were
Orleans.
just.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm very much a skeptic on the supernatural. As much as I love it, and as much as we like to discuss on our podcast, um, I call BS on a whole lot of stuff. But there's only a couple of places I've ever been where I felt like there's something weird here, there's something wrong here, and both of those places were in Louisiana. One was in New Orleans, and one was on a plantation a little bit north of New Orleans.
Well, I will tell you, we were just in New Orleans last Thanksgiving
Hmm.
for the week, and I'm just like you. I'm a very big skeptic. And we went on one of those haunted tours, because Trish is all into the supernatural and all that. So I was appeasing her. And we went and we were taking pictures and stuff. And she was getting mad because people were saying that they were seeing things and all this. And Trish like, I haven't seen nothing. I'm going through my phone and I'm seeing stuff. And I'm showing her, and it's like, do you see this? So she goes through her stuff real quick. We had four cameras going because us, we can't do anything little. She had her big Nikon, her cell phone. I had my cell phone, and I had my GoPro going.
Yeah.
What was it? Three of our cameras
Mhm.
caught things at certain places from different angles,
Hmm.
and it was the same image in all of them, but like move in different positions where you could see like it was moving, but like not all four cameras at the same time ever caught everything.
Hmm.
So it's not like you can say one camera, oh, you had a splotch on it or something,
Yeah. Huh.
No. And then as we were going along with the tour, what a couple like three stops later, guess what? That same image showed up at the next house.
Hmm.
And two out of the four cameras caught it. And
That's
like I said,
wild.
you could see it like almost following us where we were going, the whole crowd.
What tour did you do, if you don't mind
Uh,
my asking?
I can't remember. It was supposed to be an adult only tour, but there were still kids.
Ooh.
I
Um,
can't remember which one it
now
was.
I can't remember which one it was, but we had where it first showed up was I call it the red door. It was where the true vampire, first vampire, was supposed to have lived
Hmm.
there in Louisiana. That was the first place that our cameras caught it,
Uh,
and then the butcher house. I don't know what else. is where you could see it like float across and then land on the balcony there on the at the that house. Nick
That was
Cage owns
the
it.
La Laurie mansion, huh?
Uh, I don't know. I to be honest with you, I don't know.
It
Yeah.
wasn't Marie Laveau.
No.
No.
It was
It was
it
it
was one
was
where they kept the slaves
yeah.
upstairs.
She
Yeah,
kept the
that was
slate.
Delphine La Laurie.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a creepy place. There's some bad juju there.
Yeah, that was where it finally ended. Where we the last we saw it, but it like landed on the balcony there and kind of stayed there. And
Yeah.
we're sitting at IHOP that night, just going, "Holy shit!"
I've
So
not gone in that house. I've stood outside it before. I've gone in the Marie Laveau one, and there's a voodoo tour over there that goes up into the house where there was a very gruesome murder right after Katrina. Um, and what's weird though, it's like it was creepy. It was real creepy, just because of the context and the furniture was all the same in there. Uh, but that I didn't get a vibe from that. But the place that I won't go to again is the Superdome. Um,
Really?
yeah, Kevin and I went in there for a football game, and this was years after Katrina. But there's something off there. It felt really bad, even to be in there with a crowd full of people cheering for football, and it was lit. And it feels bad.
Well, after Katrina, that was the center of everything.
Mhm.
what the
Yeah,
Superdome? Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot of pain
So
in there.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, normally I don't react that way to things. Uh, but yeah, going in there, I don't want to go in there again.
I get it.
Like I
Mhm.
said, I'm a skeptic, but our trip to Louisiana made me sit there and say, maybe, you know, this wasn't just a random thing. Now, if it was just been one camera, but my cameras and her cameras, but not every camera, it's like okay.
Hmm,
So yeah, that was cool.
that's neat.
But
Um,
we didn't get to go to a lot of places because that was like the height of their. They actually shut everything down
oh
like that Thanksgiving
yeah.
because of COVID. It's like you were the only place open. That's why we came to New Orleans,
Oh no.
and they shut it all down. It's like, but we still
But
had a good time.
but Bourbon Street was open.
Yeah, Bourbon Street was open.
Oh, I bet it was. My favorite place to go down there is a gumbo shop. If you ever go down into the French Quarter, go eat there. That's
Okay.
what I have to go there every time. I've stolen some of their recipes and cook them here. I make jambalaya and seafood gumbo all the time.
We just made a keto friendly gumbo.
Yep.
And I just said keto friendly because it was over rice. We had the rice in it, and
Uh-huh.
it was miracle rice, which is not really rice, but it's still actually really good.
What is miracle rice? Is it cauliflower? Or-
No, it's called miracle rice. She's gonna have another bag of it.
I have to
Uh,
look that up.
I think it's shiitake.
Oh, never mind. I'm allergic to mushrooms.
Oh, okay. I think that's what it is because you know, like the miracle noodles, they use like the shiitake
Oh, okay.
whatever.
I've occasionally flirted with the idea of doing more vegetarian uh, food, but oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I can't have that.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like the
That's the
idea of being a vegetarian is really appealing, but so many of the substitutions for meat are mushroom, and so I can't
ex-
eat any of it.
yeah. Well, I would hate being you. She's allergic to mushrooms.
Ooh.
Oh, that's I love mushrooms. So I'm one of those guys that she'll order like when we did eat badly. She she would order an all meat pizza. I'm like, can I just add mushrooms on it? Like that's all I want. I want mushrooms on my pizza. You know.
Yep.
These are made from the flower of the Kanyaku emo plant.
I'm
So
not
maybe
familiar with that one.
this one isn't shiitake.
Huh.
No, it's
Okay.
95% water and 3% plant fiber.
Interesting. I might
We,
have to
we,
do a little more research on that.
yeah,
I love
miracle
I
noodle.
love to cook. I mean,
These aren't
um,
bad. They've got a different consistency,
yeah.
but it's better than not having any pasta.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
like zoodles.
She doesn't. That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
I only like zucchini and bread.
I
Zucchini
like.
is one that's like it or hate it. I mean,
Well, she went out and bought this big old spiral riser thing. I gotta get the jumbo one, and she's never opened it. It's like, okay.
I
I had
had
one for a while. Used it a lot. I like to do
I had
cucumber ribbon.
all good intentions when I saw it on Black Friday.
Oh
But no, we've changed our eating style, and
yeah,
uh, um,
that's good to do.
and I don't mind these miracle noodles. Like if you want to make a spaghetti out of them, you gotta sit there and let it soak in the sauce for a while to
Mm.
get the taste of the sauce.
It's even better the next day.
Oh yeah, because it sucks it all in.
Yep.
But I tried doing this keto diet like years ago, like
Hmm.
when it was just Atkins, and there was like nothing out there. Now I turn around to do it again, and the whole world is keto friendly now. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, the whole world's opened up.
I'm like, I don't want to do it again, but I guess I'm probably gonna do it
Yeah,
again.
but you're like this thick. I mean,
Ah, I look that way from here. It's like the women in my family don't age, but we all have big behinds. So,
now, do you like cookies?
huh?
These things right here, because Trisha's handing them to me to show you.
Okay. Hmm.
They have zero net carbs, and they actually taste like those little Chips Ahoy cookies, like
They
you
taste
get.
like food.
Yes, they actually taste
Ooh.
good.
Yes, they taste good because I wouldn't eat them if they didn't.
No, like I said, how the world has actually gone keto friendly. I'm talking, it has food that tastes good.
Man,
They have ice
that's
cream
good.
that tastes like ice cream.
Yeah, real tasting ice cream.
No, that's real good. I'll probably break down and do it, but I will occasionally, like I said, I have to have my bowl of gumbo with my rice. And the
Well,
rest of
we
it.
we give ourselves Sundays is what we call our cheat day. That's the or a carb reload day
Hmm.
because and that's the day because if you follow the whole thing, they tell you you can burn all the carbs, but you still got to get have some to burn
Yeah.
because you can't just go carb free or you're gonna really die.
Hmm.
So we have our cheat day or whatever on Sunday. So we plan our week around what we're gonna have Sunday.
Yeah.
Like like this week, and get this week she wants me to smoke some ribs. I'm like, that's fine, but that's still like no carbs. I'm like,
Yeah.
where am I gonna get my carbs from?
Hmm.
And she looks at
Potato
me and
salad.
says, potato salad. That's what she said.
Yep.
Potato salad and macaroni salad. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
There you go. I, we had some pretty good barbecue last week, Kevin and I told him it may be kind of blasphemy, but with barbecue, I like the barbecue as like a side, and I like sides. You mean potato salad and banana pudding and
Corn on the cob,
hmm all of that, collard
and it
greens,
has to be on the
cornbread.
cob.
Yep.
Oh, cornbread. I miss cornbread.
Oh.
I miss pasta. You can
Okay,
ask her.
we'll switch the subject, so I won't be talking about carbs for you.
Oh no, it's fine because we've done it for so long.
Hmm.
I can sit there and say, "Oh, I still miss this stuff," but I don't. Macaroni and cheese was I was like eating macaroni and cheese every day, even if it was one of those little microwave ones.
Yeah,
I've been going on 6 months without macaroni and cheese.
that's good. That's
So
I can't remember the last time I've had any, but yeah, that's one of those things you kind of it becomes a habit, and yeah, it's not too good for. I got to get away in general from processed stuff. It's like stuff's always so much better when you have kind of natural ingredients, and I like having a herb garden by my kitchen so I can go pull rosemary out and toss it on my chicken and all that stuff.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Well, see, the thing is, since we started doing this, I've been cooking a lot because I've been looking at new recipes and this and that. Was so surprised is I now before in our house our spices consisted of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. I have now two huge things that I consider my spice racks.
There you go. That's awesome.
I like have almost every spice known to man in my kitchen now. Like she was like reading a recipe she wanted to do for the gumbo that she
Mhm.
found, and she's like, well, we're gonna have to go get this spice. I'm like, if you look, it's in a package and it should be on the top up there. Yeah, we got that. And we need some Creole seasoning. I'm like, that's in the green container, and I don't know, but look for a green container with a little man on it. And
Good
she
at Tony
found it.
Chachere's.
So she's like, we don't have to go to the store for anything. I'm like, that's good.
That's real good. That's always nice. I man, I do kind of watch cooking shows in the background while I'm doing stuff too. When I haven't got a horror show on or a book or whatever, it's probably Gordon Ramsay or Cooking with Dog on YouTube. That's that's one of
There's
my
one for
favorite
you.
channels.
We usually like when we're doing stuff with Orlando Collector Deviants or with Olo, we have Food Network going on in the TV in the living room, so we can hear it,
Yeah.
and then I'll look up and it's like, I think I can make that. And it's like I think it wouldn't be too hard to make it, and I usually try, and it may not be exactly what they do there, but we usually end up loving it. So
Oh yeah. And you can the more of that you watch and do, you kind of develop your palate as far as being able to experiment with flavors and ingredients and stuff like that. It gets really fun.
So Boris says Boris ate a vegetable once. Worst experience of his life. Yes, the meal was filling, but he was left with the wheelchair and the ventilator, and the garbage truck kept leaving them at the curb.
Oh,
See, she's like,
poor thing.
poor person, huh? See, it's a special night because Boris is here and not taking Master to the Jiggly Hut, unless he's sitting in the car watching us on the phone. Because Master usually goes to the Jiggly Hut on Thursday nights.
Ooh, the
So
Jiggly Hut.
yeah, well, Jiggly Hut is I gotta find where this place is because it is very rocking. I mean, they have
Sounds
mud
like it's
wrestling,
jiggling.
Jello wrestling, ADA, speed dating, all kinds of things.
Good lordy.
After the events of last week, we are banned for the rest of the year.
Oh,
So, I know we talked about it before we got on screen. How was your free comic book day?
it was wonderful, actually. I'm still working from it. We went to Izzy's Comics up in Northport, Alabama, up near Tuscaloosa, and big thanks to Tim because they treated us right, and their regulars were real good to us and just lovely folks. That's a fairly new shop, but real fun. And I can't wait to go back, even though it's a little bit of a haul. But I got some really good requests out of that one. Um, I've got a couple of them right here. Actually, I did this Red Sonja for somebody.
That's cool. Kind of has a Cheryl Blossom look. Sorry.
Oh no, no, no! I hate that.
Just a little bit of the way the hair is on the face. I'm sorry.
I did this with you. Something is killing the children. To get
That's
the angle
cool.
right there. But now that was a lot of fun. What have I got? I've got a list here. I've got to do a Mandalorian, a Skinner Sweet from American Vampire, another one, a Venomized Red Power Ranger, and a let's see, what have I got left? Oh, that's all
Hey,
I've got left.
we got to see the Red Power Ranger at MegaCon this weekend.
Ah, awesome.
Our friend Mikey from Ranger Stop had some of them up there
Hmm.
at his booth.
Oh, cool.
Boris says producer lady caused quite the scene tossing shoes. She knocked out three exotic dancers, two bouncers, and Sweaty Jim, the DJ.
Not Sweaty Jim.
And we're gonna have to go to the Booby Barn in Gainesville from now on. I drove by that place. A lot of truckers are there.
I always point and giggle at Cafe Risque when I'm coming down to Florida.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. You always see all the trucks parked right outside there.
And what is it? When you go from Florida into no. Sorry. Georgia into Tennessee. There's like Big Bill's Booby Barn. There's a great big sign for it. And I giggle like a jackass. uh,
I must have missed that. We used to go up to Tennessee at least once a year. I must have missed that.
I'm pretty sure. Well, no. It's Alabama into Tennessee. Up, I think it's up 65.
Okay. The only Alabama we've gone through is when you like hit that little stretch between what Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
well,
middle of nowhere.
yeah. So is Tennessee, but actually,
Oh, Tennessee's a
actually,
bit fun.
we love Tennessee. We go up, or we did. We used to just go up to Murfreesboro
Hmm.
and hang out there and go over to Nashville and that kind of stuff. But
I've got a kid
I
from
love the
Columbia.
history.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff uh, cool history to learn up in Tennessee, especially up around Nashville.
Well, yeah, and the first time we went up there, I was sitting there like, Trish, can we please go to one of the battlefield graves just to see it because it's like so awe inspiring. You see all these.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's sad, really. You know, you see all the graves and everybody, and
And
but it just kind of puts everything in perspective.
I'm always up for a chance to catch a ghost.
Hmm. I
So
love it. I
And
don't know
and
what
then
I'd do if I ever find one, but
and just for all your fans, we Trish just tagged Izzy Comics there in the comments.
ah, thank you.
That way. Now, do you have a local comic book store? Is it Izzy's, or do you have a local
Um,
comic book store that's yours?
my local would be Port City Comics out of Theodore, Alabama. It's about an hour from me. But Steve Hyatt, the owner over there, he has always been so good to us. He has us over from time to time. Not so much with COVID. I know we got to make time to go over there. um, but no, he's a good dude. He's got a great shop too. It's a fun store. Um, and so I would highly recommend that to anybody traveling through Alabama, Mississippi. It's all pretty close right there.
See,
Um,
we're gonna have to make a trip this year.
Heck yeah.
I have a
I can show
feeling
you
we're
some good
going to
places to
Alabama.
eat.
Well, see, and since that's your home store, Trish just tagged it for you there too.
Oh, thank you. My home away from home store that I love dearly is Acme Comics in Greensboro, North Carolina. I know it's a few minutes for me, but I in the past I have done free comic book day with them, and it's such a treat to go up there. There's not another store like that one as far as I'm concerned. That's and my good buddy Jermaine Lord Retail Exum. he's he's the best shop manager I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. So um,
Well, see, I'm going to have to introduce you to Living Dead Comics when you're here in Orlando,
yeah, for sure.
because that's our home store.
Oh,
So,
nice. It's
I think you're trying to keep me busy.
oh yes, I am trying to keep you busy. No cat videos for you tonight.
um man, yeah, I love a good comic shop. Is I know when we travel, they get so tired of me because they're like, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Can we go to a comic book shop? Why do you want to go to a comic book shop? All we do is Comic Con." um, Oof.
See, you'd fit in with me and Trish because that's what we go and we sit there and I'm asking Trish, okay, what do you want to do tomorrow? She's like, okay, the comic book store is over here. This one's open. This one won't be open till noon. It's like, okay, I love you because I don't even have to say it and she's already picking out.
Oh, I love you too, man.
It makes our marriage easier to be on the same page.
Mhm. It's nice. I feel really fortunate that that everybody I'm close to kind of doesn't mind enabling my weirdness,
They get
or is
you.
or they're as into it as I am with the comics. So um, so yeah,
Well,
that's
see,
always exciting.
well, and that's the whole thing. When you find somebody who is into it as much as you, like Trish, her 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 tastes are more Wonder Woman into Archie and some of
Yeah.
the older stuff like Dennis the Menace and that kind of stuff.
Uh huh.
But it intermixes with like what I like with the DC and everything. So, I mean, a comic is a comic. I don't care what it is. I mean,
Hmm.
as long as everybody loves them, I'm good.
Yeah, that's the important part. It's like, has it got pictures? Can you read it? Cool.
Right?
Mhm. That's
So,
fun. Um,
and and with you guys, going to the conventions together and to the comic book stores. I mean, he might say, "Oh, we've just been at all these conventions," but secretly he's happy to go into the comic book store because there's going to be something he's going to like.
oh yeah. I like treasure hunting. I surely do.
Hmm.
Now, what is one of your most prized possessions you have?
My journey into Mystery 85.
That was a quick answer.
Hey, you
And
She
you
knows it.
you asked me what my prize one is, and it's Marvel Spotlight number 5. There you go.
nice, very nice. Um, we finally got a giant size X-Men #1 a few years ago. That's really pretty, and it was a good price. So yay, that's a I we got it slabbed, and it came back higher than we thought it would. So that one is a real joy, and I don't think it'll ever leave our possession. Just
Mine is Life with Archie #1.
oh nice. And now what? Yeah. Let's see. What year was that? The
50 something.
I don't know.
Hold
How
on.
much?
She actually has it like within arm's reach.
ooh
So
nice.
she will tell you. Because I've been actually lucky to get her 2 copies. One was a reader
Ooh.
copy where the front page was half gone.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one I ever got her. And it was like, at least you have it. And then I was able to find one with the whole cover intact for her.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. Ha.
So, and the price was right. And it says September, and I don't know.
That's so cool. My other, I've got a few prized possessions, and but the other one, that pic, the art that I showed you on the wall
Uh
earlier,
huh.
that it's a double page spread from Metropolis Secret Files and Origins. And okay, so one of the characters that I love that I didn't mention is Mercy Graves from the Superman the
Tom beat you.
Dang it, Tom.
animated.
I'm just going to Tom and Trish Rush. Tom says 1958 for the life with Archie. Okay,
Good
sorry,
job.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no,
That
you're
was
good.
almost there.
So I love this character, Mercy Graves, just Lex Luthor's hench wench, and so she didn't pop up in a whole lot of comics, but I've tried to get everything that she appeared in, and I've gotten a few pieces of original art featuring her over the years. But this one, it's by Pascal Ferry, and the story it's beautiful. It's one where she's looking for Lois Lane because she's missing at the time, and it's her and Hope, and they're and I'm probably the only person who cares about this, but it's just an amazing looking little short story. And I was thinking earlier this year, I was like, I wonder if any of the original art is out there from this, because I bought a couple copies of this. And it's one of those stories that the artwork struck me, and it's one of those that I keep near my desk so that if I'm bored, I'll look at it. And it's one of those things that sparks me. And I ended up asking somebody who had something else by this artist if they knew who the agent was, and he said, "Oh, it's me." I was like, "Is this available?" He's like, "I've got one page," and so he had one page, and I had it shipped from Spain, and so that's another pride and joy. That's
That's
just
cool.
random, but man, um,
Well, that's like Trish has original pages of little Archie up on the wall up here,
wow,
and it's one whole little story, but she got all three of them, and that's actually thanks to Mr. Tom. That was
that's awesome.
at his Deland show a few years back. She was able to pick it up.
Oh,
Tom
neat.
Tom was upset because he missed out. He didn't see it there, or he
Oh
would have owned
no,
them.
man.
But
I was so excited. I was trying to shop with Tom in Savannah, and nobody had. I was looking for Journey into Mystery '88, and nobody around had it. And like in the last hour of the show, I found it at somebody's booth. I was like, what? And they had it cheap. It's like, what's wrong with it? So I bought it, and so that's another Grail book for me. But
Those are those ones you just grab and pay for really quickly
hmm
and then run away.
But the weird thing was, those books are pretty hard to find, um, especially in nice condition. And this dude had a run of it. Like it didn't have the 83 or the 85, the first Thor or the first Loki, but it had the second Loki and the third and the fourth. I'm like, dang. So I'm gonna fill out my little collection there. Um, but yeah, they had early Journey into Mystery, and that's nice.
now, hold on. Mike says, "Is she going to be at your convention in February?" I don't know. We haven't discussed that because that is actually her birthday week. So we
Listen,
have to see. Hold on one second. Sorry about that.
no, you're good. You're
I had Trish looking for something.
good.
He's got me on a mission.
Yep. Hand me the whole box. Now, this is one of your guys' little things right there. Space Pussycats.
hmm
And this has the whole set. I love you guys always have like the numbered boxes and everything. I mean,
Those are so fun. Those have really made a difference for us, just in well, in a lot of ways, but making for interesting rewards and making for really collectible rewards. I love how some of y'all are trying to get the early boxes. We've got a few people that are always trying to get that number one.
And Tom says, I have that one also.
Nice.
And it's, yep, because this one has all 4 of them in there and autographed.
Mm-hmm. By Erica Heflin. She wrote that book.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm showing up and it's like, gotta be back here. So this is all 4 of them right there.
The artist on that book is doing the new Luke Cage book for Marvel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, his and like those books, he did the covers too. So the art on those looks like those covers, and it is ridiculous. It's so beautiful.
Well, you guys always have good artwork.
We do try. Man, if you want to see some crazy artwork, we've been getting pages back from Oscar Pinto, who's doing our Vicious Circus Halloween special. And woo, it's the coolest looking book I think we've ever put together. And that's me saying that just, you know, as humble
But
as I'll get out.
by the way, I'm 28. I got number 28 of 100.
Nice.
Well, I have to thank you because you actually gave me my rewards there at Savannah.
Awesome. I'm really glad we were able to do that.
Oh yeah, and then you gave me my stickers at Tampa.
Tampa Bay. Yep.
But
We actually just got we got collector's boxes. I'll pull it aside because I've got it right here. That's not it. um, you hear things crash and bash, but we just got boxes for the absentee, and
dude, that looks nice. I missed out on the absentee one.
oh no, that's art by Rando Dixon, who does that series, and we've got one issue left in this series, so we should be kickstarting that January, February of next year, and we'll have the complete series of that. But
Well, for some reason, I missed that, and then I remember talking with Kevin at Tampa, and it was just finishing up that weekend.
mhm.
And when I got home from Tampa, I kind of crashed and forgot about it.
Oh, you can get with me or Kevin if you want something from that. I've got some extras on stuff. So.
No problem. Now, I know Mike asked if you were coming to our convention in February. You were supposed to be going to Tom's convention. Now, I know Inverse Press is, or Flatline Comics, but you had to change up a little bit.
Yeah, I had a bit of a scheduling conflict because I'd promised a buddy of mine with a convention in Columbia, Tennessee, that I was going to be doing their show, and then the dates clashed, which I wish I could split myself in two. but yeah, Kevin and Erica and John Crowther and a slew of wrestlers are going to be over at Daytona, and so yeah, I'll be doing Columbia by my lonesome, and
You're gonna be sitting there. It's like, come see me. Look at this. I'm free, guys. Everybody, come see me. I'm lonely and I want some commissions. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. All right.
I'll be close enough to Nashville. I might go hang out. um, but yeah, that I do a lot of art at that particular show. My boys up there, they love original art. So we got the wrestling crowd down in Daytona, and then the art crowd up in Columbia. So
Now I was gonna ask because I know on a lot of the Kickstarters you do like um you do little podcasts throughout the week, doing little sketches and stuff
yeah,
like
love
that.
drawings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I actually did one the other day. With one of the covers from Free Comic Book Day. The Red Sonja, actually. I inked that one live, and I just do that from my Facebook page so that I can chat with people while I'm working. It gives me a um, little contact with the outside world.
Now I've watched you a couple of times, and it's so interesting what goes into that you can still chat with everybody while still being focused on drawing.
Oh
Now,
man,
is that difficult or?
nah, it makes it more interesting to me. Um, because when I've got somebody watching my every move while I'm drawing, I'm like, I gotta make this good. you know? Um, so I don't know. I find that I'm a little bit sharper in those. Um, but the other funny times that I draw, it's like I'll be doing sequential art a lot during the day, but sometimes if I'm on my own or I pull a late night working, I'll just sit with my reading pillow and watch TV. Like time gets away from me. Like I was up till almost 2 in the morning last night just drawing stuff and watching shows. So sometimes it needs to get on the page when it needs to get on the page.
Now, Mike wants to know your Facebook page. Trisha's already jumping on to tag that up there, and
Yeah,
he says sorry he came late to the video.
no, you're good. I've got two actually. My personal is facebook.com/Amanda Rachels. That's one where you're welcome to follow me because I do the videos there. And then I have a fan page that's facebook.com/Amanda Rachels Art. And I post a lot from Instagram and stuff. I've got to figure out how to link those up together. I
Now,
get so many
she
friend
she
requests
she
in my page and I don't know who people are.
she knows that stuff like right off the top of her head. You asked me, yeah, it's on Facebook. Just go look for our logo.
that's that's a good way to do it. I mean, it's funny. I have a page for ain't no such thing, but it's better for a group. So I'm like, I always give the group page instead of the actual fan page. I finally put up a website at amandarachels.com, so there's stuff up there too. There's
Oh,
actually some
Oh,
art
look
up
at
there hiding.
you.
look at you.
Mhm.
It's like we're gonna actually end up having. We have a web page for the Olo show, but we don't for Orlando Collector Deviants. It's like I'm gonna have to actually do a web page for Orlando Collector Deviants because I guess people don't take you serious if you only have Facebook. And we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but we're not taken seriously because we don't have a Facebook page.
I don't think you're wrong on that. I think yeah, you got to have some kind of just standard web presence, but even though people mostly communicate through Facebook.
Well, see, I look at it as we were one of the pioneers because we've been doing it for 6 years
hmm
or so, a little bit. We're one of the pioneers of being a social media press
That's awesome.
because we were doing it before everybody and their brother started doing it.
hmm
And but now we just got to keep up with the game, and places want to see your web page, and it's like, well, we're social media, we're not a web page, you
Yeah.
know. But I figured if I can make one for Olo, I can make one for Orlando Collector Deviants. It's just
Oh,
finding the time.
I've learned some new words trying to put a web page together, but
I've
uh,
known those words for a very long time.
She she you see her tagging all this stuff. That's the most that she does. All
oh.
the other stuff behind the scenes, I end up doing. And nothing against her. Nothing
As
against
to
her.
say, what are you trying to say?
Nothing against her.
Oh.
Because it's a pain in the ass. You know, if you're doing a web page, you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to
and
do it and create it. And
and I do a lot here, but on the technical side of things, Kevin does most of it, unless it's actually fiddling with, you know, like artwork. But he does all the pre-press for books and stuff, and that can be difficult to figure out between formatting and um, cover dress and lettering and making sure the pages are the right size. It's like you couldn't pay me to do that. he uh He's good at what he does. But but I'm the one who finds everything. It's like if something has to be found, no matter by who or what it is or where, they where's this? Where is it?
I that's what I do. I make her go find it. It's like I said, I'll look at her and say, okay, I'm looking for so and so and so and so. So I can't find them. Can you find it? And she'll go on there. Do, 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 do. Yep, here you go. Well, I was like, okay. Except for when I'm stalking guests for their week on the show, then I get in there and I can find all that.
Yeah, that's all you.
Made her do it one week because I was doing other things, and she's like, never again will she do that because it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
Nope.
Man.
Well, and then it's like with you because usually I put out a friend request for that way I can send you the invite and all that. And it's like Amanda doesn't have where she accepts friends.
I
Like,
don't? Are we
oh
not friends?
no, we're not friends.
What?
So
Oh,
I'm sitting there. It's like when I sent you the messenger, I'm like, oh please God, let her see it. Because sometimes if you're not friends, you don't see it. And it's like,
oh
oh
no. Let's see.
We just thought you were hiding from creepy Hooters guy.
Okay,
but a Magnum
I sent you
PI.
a friend request.
She just sent me a friend request.
Sometimes I miss them. I don't always see. Um, and I wish I could pin something to my page and be like, hey, if you don't know me like in person, can you tell me how you might have met me and why you want to friend me? I meet too many people, and it's like I know, that can sound rude or haughty.
No,
Um, but
because me and Trish will sit back here when we get her friend request. Do you know who this person is? And we'll sit there and we'll kind of look. Oh, that's who this person is. Okay, yes. Or no, that was a creepy person at the convention. No, 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 no.
the worst for me is like when I'll friend somebody that I don't know, and then like 2 days later they're posting like QAnon stuff. I'm like, delete, delete. um, or whatever brand of crazy is in the
Oh
uh
yeah.
in
Well,
the
it's one thing on the group page and all that, and I totally understand with everybody because it's another thing on our personal page. It's like
yeah.
that's for people we really do know, and
Mhm.
it's like we know we've crossed paths for the last 6 years. We've not really got to know each other till this past year,
Mhm.
but I've known you for like ever. I've ever since Auburndale CityCon.
Oh,
Steve,
I loved
creepy
Albert. That
stalker
was a fun
Halsey.
show.
Well, it's one of those that when you say that, and we talked about it before when at the convention, and people are like, "What was Auburndale?" It's like, well, it was only a convention that we saw for 2 years, but
Yeah.
it's like I know Amanda was sitting there and Roland was sitting over here, and they
Mhm.
were in the corner. They were in the other room. They had Hannah over in the other room, and yeah, it was like I
They
have one
had
of.
some good Joe cosplay at
Oh
the
yeah,
show. I'm a big GI Joe fan.
it's one of those. I have that kind of memory where I can remember the first time we've ever met each other, and it freaks people out because it's like, oh yeah, well, like because that same show was the first time I'd met Roland before,
Hmm.
but it's the first time we ever really talked with Roland
Yeah.
and got to learn Roland.
And I'm the opposite. I can perfectly forget that I ever met you.
5 minutes after meeting you.
I'm terrible about that. I'm one of those people that when I'm talking and someone introduces themselves, I'm thinking, oh crap, you're going to forget their name while they're saying their name. And I'm like, oh no. And I either remember faces or I remember names, but never both. And I have such a problem. It's bad for me at like 3 day shows because, like, when people come to get artwork from me, I'll remember what shirt they have on, but I can't pick their face out of a lineup. So after, if they come back the next day with a different shirt, I'm like, dang it. um,
Well, you need to go to a gamer convention because they wear the same clothes for the whole 4 days.
no, it's so dang. I've been to gamer conventions. I play card games too.
See,
That
there you go.
the air gets soupy.
Yeah, by day 3, there's a fog throughout the convention center.
On my way back from Savannah, or no, something else. I stopped at a comic shop that I have not named, and was a little ways away from me. They were having some kind of magic event. When I stopped, I went looking for something. Nobody spoke to me. I went and looked around, but the stench, the body odor monster cloud that hung above everybody there is like, I'm sorry, Magic players, but you got to know better. Y'all are grown ass people. Um,
Yeah, like in the comic books, they portray it as green, and they're right.
Yeah. Well,
dang.
I will say I went to comic book store up in Jacksonville, and I won't say their name out publicly, but it's a bigger chain. I will say that it's a bigger chain. That way, I don't offend the little guys. But I'm sitting there looking, and an employee goes past me with that rank. I'm like, oh my god. And it was a female employee. And I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but for a female employee to go by me with that, like, oh my god, my eyes started watering on sight.
Oh, that's awful.
And it's like, and then when I went to go check out, because I did pick up a comic, she was at the register, and I kind of turned around and I went back to the back issues until somebody else went to the register because did not want to go up there with her.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that kind of sucked. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the 2 hours.
I love that that's what we ended on is BO.
No, we're going to end on what we always end on. And where can people see you next?
Where can they see me next? One second. This is really bad. Um, okay. So the next show that I have on my schedule is Alabama Comic Con in Birmingham, and that's October 8th, 9th, and 10th, or the 9th and 10th. Um, and then the next weekend is Calhoun Comic and Toy Expo, I believe, in Calhoun, Georgia, and that's the 16th and 17th of October.
Well, they're going to find you in September, though, somewhere.
Oh, where in September? That's hold on. See, I told you I was bad. That is, oh God, what's our Sid? Kevin's gonna kill me. Um,
Because you can't be at the Daytona show because
oh, Columbia. I'm sorry. That's the weekend of the
18th and 19th.
18th and 19th. 18th and 19th, yeah. Um, that's so bad. How do I not have that on my phone? Um, yeah, that's in uh, Columbia, Tennessee, and yeah, that's a fun little show. Colby Webb is the guy who runs that show. But I hope you'll go see the rest of my people in Daytona.
Exactly. I was going to say, if you guys are watching in Tennessee or Alabama, go up and see her up in Columbia, Tennessee. But if you're in Florida, you better be coming to Daytona. Got to see the rest of the. Now, I still say inverse. Should I get used to saying flatline comics?
Inverse Press is still what we've got as our umbrella. But yeah, just it's a comic imprint. So Inverse Press is our company, but like Flatline Comics is going to cover our horror comics, and Squared Circle Comics covers our wrestling comics.
Okay. So if you're here in Florida, you better come to Daytona. Just put it this way.
And like I do with all shows, I do commission pieces at cons. And so if anybody wants anything in advance of Daytona, you are totally welcome to contact me and I can send it with my crew.
And look, Tom has already tagged September 18th and 19th, Daytona Beach Comics Convention at the Tommy Lawrence Arena. And if you guys stay till the end of the outro, you'll see I have that up there also, because Tom is a big supporter of ours, and he is the con father, and we do everything to appease the con father.
That's his new name, the Con Father. That's great, man.
Oh yes, and just do not ask him for a favor on the day of his convention. You know, he'll sit there with his cat, and no.
Oh. I feel so bad. I have to make it up to Tom since I won't be there.
he's laughing.
I was like, I told him I was going to send him some artwork, and that might be it, just the sitting there on the day of my convention.
See, you're sending the rest of everybody, so
Oh yeah.
You know what you got, about 4 people there. Doesn't quite equal one Amanda, but close. Okay. And of course, I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to see us next, I think our next convention is going to be August 28th. It'll be MyCon at, I believe it's the Wyndham off of iDrive. It's a nice little convention. It's only $5 to get in, guys. The gals who run it are really good gals. Not a huge convention, but it's really good. I actually picked up one of my signed scripts, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, signed at that convention. A lot of cosplay goes on there. You never know what you're going to find. Once again, that is MyCon, and that's going to be August 28th. I believe it's at the Wyndham. Trish just tagged them. If you guys are out on the East Coast this weekend, we are going to be hitting all the comic book shops, or a lot of the comic book shops, starting in Titusville down to Melbourne, putting out the flyers for Olo and posters at some of the stores. We'll hit the Infinite Mushroom, and we'll hit Famous Faces, think Tidal Waves also. So we're going to make a day of it at Saturday promoting Olo. And other than that, I think that keeps us, because after MyCon, I think we don't have anything until the the Daytona show.
I think so, yeah.
So I can't.
And good luck to all those that are at Fanboy this weekend.
Oh yeah, Fanboy Expo is in Orlando this weekend. I hope it goes off without a hitch. We needed we did 4 conventions in a row every weekend. We need a weekend off to where we just go promote us and have a Sunday off so I can smoke some ribs.
Yum.
Because if you smoke, you got to have the whole day off.
You gotta have the day. Mm-hmm.
So because I'm also thinking about, besides the ribs, to throw in a brisket on there also.
Woo. I was gonna spend my weekend at home, but I may have to head down y'all's way.
I always, when I'm smoking, I always make way too much food.
I can see a white van pulling in our driveway.
But that's Tom.
I know. There's always beer here for him. I can see him coming for some smoked meat.
Now, I'm gonna. On that note, we won't be on next week. Next week is our hiatus. we've gotten to the point where we take 1 week a month off from doing the show. The following week we will have the Kitchen Killers on here, and then a week after that we will have the Confather live and in person because he likes to sit right here, drink his Coronas, and we'll have the show right there.
All right.
What time?
I told you.
What
He wants
time?
to come with the white band to the smoker.
I will make sure, Tom, when you come out, that we have something. I won't have it smoked that day, but maybe reheated. Because my ribs, I mean, they good even reheated the next
I
day.
can't eat ribs anywhere else now.
She's sitting there. Ribs? Yeah.
Right?
They fall out. You take the bone because they're the baby backs, and you just pull it out, and it's just all meat right there.
Man, our little kid discovered the joy of eating ribs in the last couple of months, and so now she's like corn on the cob.
And Alfred says, "Okay, tag me for sure in 2 weeks. I have to be here for Kitchen Killers." Yeah, we've known those guys for a long time before they were Kitchen Killers.
Yep.
So that's going to be a great show, and there will be singing, and not from me.
That's what we got Billy and the commander for.
Yep. So if you want to hang out for a minute, Amanda, after
Sure.
the outro, and we'll talk for a couple minutes. But until the next time, guys, take it easy.
Bye.